friends. In this next session, I shall be speaking to a denim washing nerd, Nino Castro. Nino has over 15 years of experience in the denim industry, genealogy as head of laser design finishes and general manager of Gap Incorporation's Denim Innovation Lab, the Denim Kitchen. He's now launched his own denim consulting firm, the Denim Dynasty, and started an online platform called the Indigo Alchemist, creating content about modern denim finishing techniques and tools. So may I welcome Nino to please join me.
Hello, I'm happy you having me here.
Thank you, Nino, and welcome to you. And hope everything is fine in LA.
Yeah, weather is fine. The air is smoky. So yeah, it's a little bit normal here, besides the pandemic, of course.
Yeah, but I hope pandemic situation is improving a bit.
Yes and no, you don't see too much. It doesn't affect me directly, but you see a lot of controversy here, which is what is actually affecting.
Yeah, this pandemic has definitely caused a lot of diverse opinions. But anyway, there's been so much of being spoken about this that it's better we move on to the other more important things now. So we were discussing about LA. What, and LA is developed as a very important development center for denim. Why do you think this happened?
Well, that's a good question. As per the LA Times, the LA oldest denim label is Stronghold Overalls that dates back to 1895 in Los Angeles Street. We can say that denim has always been here since the beginning. But we can say that there has been a push from the moment that the washing started. Denim before was more a workwear, and then we started to wash it and to finish it. And this changed like in the 60s, 70s, 80s, when big wash houses like Koos and Kaitak or Freshtex nested in the city and helped to consolidate the infrastructure, right? We can say that the build-up of these larger wash houses, there was a build-up of larger wash houses overseas during the time. And this provoked kind of a commute from production in the US, which was done mostly in LA for all the brands, to overseas across the Pacific. And the denim industry here has survived so far thanks to small premium brands that cannot afford large productions overseas or just care a lot about the made in the US label, right? However, sometimes the unthinkable happens, and in the 2000s, when Adriano Goldschmidt, the denim OG, decided to start a new denim project. He was in the question between New York, LA, and in his own words, he was saying, "I love this location. I can do everything in the same place," to justify the move to LA, right? So denim in the 60s meant anti-establishment. In the 70s, it was kind of a self-expression, In the 80s and 90s, the Europeans started to treat it like the artistic expression. But by the end of 2005, $100 jeans were already very, very common in the market. And in the US only, the denim business grew to $16 billion, in which 85% of it was premium jeans sold in LA. So the market in LA has always been really, really huge, especially not in the basic stuff, like more premium, which justifies all this denim scene here, right?
I remember, 2005's, at that time, it was said that, if you price your jeans higher, it is easier to sell.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. You can see that with these $500 pair of jeans, which is like, oh my God. Um, it's something incredible, but yeah, the denim has evolved to something so basic, but also something that puts you apart. You know, you use it as a luxury item. It's so incredible. Something that has been used as a workwear nowadays can be a $500-600 luxury item. It's but yeah.
Those were the times, but I think those times are probably more
No,
or less
now it's
gone.
the
More or less
pandemic.
gone. It's gone. It's gone. In
So
fact, that it started going down. I think probably a couple of years back. Also, I mean, it was people were not really buying so expensive ones. But anyway,
yeah.
please.
So at some point, you know, Adriano comes here, Stefano Alighieri comes here, Chad Hilton starts something here, Kelly Furano, Jason Farrow, among others. Uh, all of them, they gave new life to the local denim scene. You know, a lot of brands pop up, the premium denim brands, um, and and all of them using this existing infrastructure in and around LA. There is an article about the LA Times talking about a toy factory converted into kind of the heart of denim, where all of these people had their lofts, their design studios, and were working together. It was kind of a hippie version of denim creation, you know. So it's really interesting to dig into this history. So also new power wash houses started to open here in LA, like Blue River, US Garments, Denim Tech, you know, very specialized laundries, very high in high quality, complicated stuff, experts in resin, something that was completely new at that time. Um, yeah, all of this plus the brands like Lucky, True Religion, Page, Frame, Hudson, NYDJ, Seven for All Mankind, Guess, and so many others are based in or around LA. Um, this whole infrastructure is still somewhat available today. You know, it has been declining because of, you know, brands moving their production overseas, companies overseas accepting smaller productions. So you see a really large decline of mass production here, and mostly um, inspirational development. So it's easier to work on development here and then go with a garment you actually did yourself with your fabric and bring it to the vendor. But the vendor has still to counter develop it. So because the laundry here would not share the recipe, right? So um, also you can find many extra perks here, like the fashion district, the fashion scene that we have here in LA, Hollywood, Beverly Hills, Santa Monica.
Yeah,
You
it's a
see
fashion
people,
center. Yeah,
yeah,
fashion hub.
it's the, the casual fashion, you know, like New York is more the haute couture fashion hotspot. LA is the casual fashion hotspot, where denim is king, is literally like the most popular item of casual wear, right? Also, the Rose Bowl. We have the Rose Bowl, you know, and all these vintage denim secret warehouses where you can go in and buy vintage denim by the weight,
By the
literally
weight. Oh,
by the weight. You go, they put your basket on the scale, and it's like, okay, it's 5 pounds, $25. You know,
oh.
it's if you know yourself around the scene here, you can find, you know, treasures. It's like treasure hunting sometimes. When you're talking about denim, of course.
Yeah. And I think this LA was also one of the important places where Japanese used to travel a lot and buy the old Levi's, vintage Levi's, and take it back to Japan and sell them, resell them, or
Correct.
recreate them.
This is all Kaitak. Kaitak is a Japanese-based company that started here. They had very strong relationships with the Japanese market, and yeah, it's, I think, also a little bit responsible for all of this denim cultural thing in Japan going on, right? So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's interesting to see how things come together, right?
Absolutely.
All of this is what makes LA the right place to be when you want to truly uh, develop. Then you have everything available, everything is easy, accessible. You get results in the same week. You know, you don't have to travel thousands of miles.
Absolutely.
So that's the reason why denim is the why LA is the denim hotspot.
And how many brands and retailers do you think must be having their own development centers out here, or really getting the developments done in LA?
Um, Getting the developments done, all, think about this, there is hundreds of brands here in LA, so all of them kind of develop here or have kind of a deal with the local laundry, because there's really a lot of small local laundries, right? A lot of them are closing because business goes away, but still smaller brands, definitely, because of the premium part of it. And then if you go with bigger brands, I know for sure Levi's used to have something here more permanent. Um, Gap had the Denim Kitchen for 4 years here. Uniqlo, J. Crew have also a development center. I heard that Abercrombie is maybe looking towards opening something here. But what I see is more an interest on the other side. You know, the vendors realizing that they're missing out. Like, I can give you one example. Cytex Vietnam is for 1 year planning to open a twin development center. Twin meaning they have exactly the same setup here and in Vietnam. So counter developing is basically
Very
the
cheap.
same.
Very. So is
So
it
there
all?
is a lot.
Yeah.
Say
Sorry.
there.
No, it's okay. Please.
There is a lot of interest in taking advantage of the infrastructure and the setup here in LA, right? Um, we just have to figure out how to make it affordable and how to make it scalable. This is kind of the problems that generally development made in the US and transferred overseas is facing, right? And this is something that I'm trying to address with my company, Denim Dynasty.
Okay, that's wonderful. And tell me a little more about the Denim Kitchen. What exactly Denim Kitchen was doing and how it was helping get.
So the Denim Kitchen was a very interesting concept. It was my dream job, I have to say. I really miss working in the Denim Kitchen because we managed to put together awesome LA development with seamless scalability to the overseas vendors. Um, it was a denim hub, you know, the designers were coming here and having a blast because they could actually not only give instructions, but actually get the hands dirty and do it themselves, you know, or get inspired or even see, you know, the typical comment, oh, can you make it 10% lighter, to really see what it means to
Mm.
make it 10% lighter, you know? So it's not just a computer thing you play with. You really have to have the skill set for this, you know? It was really a wonderful place. Um, and all of this was possible because we created a tech back system that easy generated comprehensive documents containing accurate information about the physical development that was made actually here with a vendor that's Blue River. So the kitchen became quickly a key asset to GAP's design teams, R&D teams, and PD teams, because we were approaching denim development in an end-to-end way. So from the beginning, we were aware of what we can do and what not. To give you one simple example, pigment spray, right? It's very easy to add some pigment, but it will never pass the physicals, never. So we figured out a way how to pass the physicals and still be able to apply, adding a kind of fixer or something like that, tweaking the things in the way that industrially it's feasible and it will not carry liability from the beginning. Designers sometimes are like, I want to do this. And you're like, wait, wait, how much budget do you have? Okay, let's take this away. Let's take this away. Let's take this away. Mm, mm. That's a dark wash, not the acid enzyme light wash.
Yeah. No,
So,
it's also good hands-on learning for the designers because normally, those who really don't travel too much to the factories and the washing laundries, it must be a very good place to learn.
that's uh, that's really really true. Um, we were facing the constant battle of trying to hold them down. Like it's very simple to come up with variations and ideas, but you have to be also realistic on what you're able to do and what makes sense. Not for one development that you're gonna have in the store, you have to make 55 versions of it to take a decision. You see where I'm going? It's kind of the realistic part of denim design. Like we understand kind of, I don't care about if it's cool or not. I just know how to do it, and I have to tell you what we can afford, what not, what will be a risk, what will be a liability. The end decision is yours, but still, it was my job to put a
A brief.
stop or a guideline in
Mm.
order to not face problems later on in the process, right?
So, now with the, of course, LA has been going so strong, but post-COVID, do you think it has taken a hit in a big way? And is it whether you do you do you, whether you see that is going to be a positive or negative impact of COVID on the development activity? Because from one end, probably it also makes a lot of sense to for the brands to have a kind of development done in this place where which can be replicated without traveling digitally, maybe to the vendors.
Yeah, everybody is looking into this working online with digitalization, cameras, and all of this. Yeah, you're right. This COVID question is a hard one. Um, when I was in the kitchen, we started to address every single aspect of that in finishing, from innovation, led by Kim Wolf, fibers and fabrics, led by Neil Bell, and myself on technology and sustainability, creating many standards and methods, which are meant to make easier the whole process. When I got laid off, when leadership of Gap decided to close the denim kitchen and I got laid off amid of the pandemic, um, we literally could see how little by little around uh, everywhere in LA, denim production and development started to freeze, literally. Not only things were not coming in, productions were non-existent. You see sewing houses, wash houses closing day, yes, they know, because they didn't have work for the operators, laying off the operators, people who have been in this industry working denim for 15, 20 years and suddenly get laid off. I know a lot of people that started gardening and they're so happy now gardening. They're not going back to scrape denim. You know, all this talent, all this know-how, how to do traditional denim finishing, at some point is gone.
That's so
So
sad.
it's really really sad. And actually, you see people how, you know, denim is not an easy business, especially for all the people on the front line. It's really hard, and I don't see that the value is there. You know, it's just scraping. So you don't value the guy who knows how to do it. He's the first one to go. But later when you need him, he's gone.
It's really.
So yeah, in my belief, you know, however, denim production is slowly growing back, you know, and you see that this pandemic has proven us that business is not going to go back to what it was. Um, Many brands started thinking that they can work directly with the vendor again, you know, overseas, to save some money, because why to develop here and spend money here and then bring it overseas? But they are getting into the trap, into the time trap, you know, especially now where when they have to be quicker and take decisions, and things change every day, and things are already in movement and you cannot stop them. That's where having a development locally is so important, because you control the whole step, and when you're ready and you have the whole package, you send it to the vendor and start production. You know, this is something that we have seen a lot here. So more and more brands I see that are actually researching the way to bring development back home because of this. You know, I can tell you firsthand that workload for people that kept their job has increased to more than double. Uh, I speak with people that are telling me, oh my God, I'm at home and I still have 150 emails to read, you know, because everybody wants to know what is going on. And this is exactly what drove me to found my company, Denim Dynasty, focused on digitalization, automation, and denim scalability. So my belief is that information is the key, and making libraries the right things to do. You know, once you make the work, you should use that work. You should not always make the work from scratch over and over and over, you know, and um, to give you one example, uh, imagine you are in a email string with 15 people, in which 5 people have to work with an Excel file that is attached. After 25 emails, you're starting to get lost with the information if you're not
Totally.
using the system,
Yeah.
because you don't know what attachment is correct or where is what information missing, right?
Yeah.
So this is something that I have learned during this time. And like, for instance, you can make libraries out of everything: laser designs, wash steps, recipes, chemistry, sustainability. You know, you don't have to look up everything every single time. Automate it.
But what about, let's say, if you are using a different fabric? So let's say you have a particular recipe and you are applying it to different fabrics. So how do you think that will change in that case? I mean, you two different fabrics, the same. Then how do you adjust the recipe?
I don't understand the question, sorry.
I mean, let's say you created a design for a particular wash and with laser application and everything, and that is applicable. That is probably applicable to a particular fabric.
Um, we look, laser is something very, 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 very controllable. You know, it just addresses many aspects um, in decision taking during the process of making a jean, and everything starts with the fabric. So I don't know if you're aware, there is a scoring system that's called LSF, laser sensitive fabric. Genealogia made this score. Um, it gives you a very interesting viewpoint in order to understand what the fabric is capable. In my experience, it's not only applicable to laser, but also to the washes. The more laser sensitive it is, the more washable is the fabric, right? So this kind of scoring is still not very popular, and mills don't look like they want to implement it like a standard, right? Um, because it can really be the decision point of getting a fabric or another. So what I see is that there is a lack of communication between who takes the decision of buying the fabric and who takes the decision of what is going to be made with the fabric, right? So if you know, if it's a little bit the snake that bites its own tail. You
Hmm.
know, you're not using laser because you have a fabric that's not very sensitive to laser. So laser is not good for me. But then you go back and you buy again fabric that's not suitable for laser, and then you go back again and you make the test, and you're surprised like, oh my God, this fabric. None of the fabrics that I get are suitable for laser because you don't do it the right way. You
Yeah.
make the compromise of purchase, and then you figure out if you can do laser or not. So if you make it the other way around, you turn out to do something like what Levi's is doing now with the FLX. They have a very big control about what fabrics they put into their portfolio, um, and start using that fabric in a different way. And they know they have a very high certainty that laser is going to work. So back to your question, can you put laser from one fabric to another? Technically, yes. You know, unless the fabric is on the red side, where you can say like a sulfur black or something like that, which laser is going to destroy but not fade anything. You know, um, depending on how much retouch you put in, you can get good results. It's just expensive to retouch the garment after laser. That's why laser is still novelty because we
Still,
don't
there's
know
an
how to
art. Apart from the
properly
science, still
apply it.
there's an art.
Not exactly. You know, art doesn't care about your opinion. It's more design. Design is very commercially focused, so it's always been design. It looks like art when you do it, you know, but it's very scientific approach.
Of course, I agree with you. And about your company, what are you're doing so many things. Just started this company, and you're focusing on digitalization, scalability, automation. So what exactly you wish to do with the Denim Dynasty?
Look, when all of this happened and all our lives changed, um, I told you already, I was so surprised and a little bit disappointed. Like, guys, you have something incredible. Why you want to give this up? So I was faced with the decision of, do I look for a job right now, or do I just do what I have been doing the last 4 years, but instead of doing it for a big corporation, I just do it for anybody who wants to hire me. So I decided to take all this knowledge, um, and I founded Denim Dynasty, which is very focused on digitalization, on automation, sustainability, and uh, sorry, I don't know my own digitalization, sustainability, automation, and scalability, of course, scalability. So the success rate that we had in the last 4 years with all the vendors that we have been working in the denim kitchen, meaning that we do something here in LA and they just get the tech pack before they receive the physical sample. And when they receive the physical sample, it's to already check if it's okay, you know, so they work before everything arrives. This has given me the clue. You know, you have to monetize this, and you have to try to help brands and vendors to figure a way to make their people work less, be more efficient, and still get awesome results. And on the side, you bring back work to the US, and the knowledge and, you know, the power of decision back to the brands. because there's nothing between what the designer designs and then later is decided in PD. If they decide this is not doable, they will just cancel it. So at the end, it's not depending on them.
Absolutely. And I think it's a very good direction because uh, I think my personal opinion is that with this pandemic, we are looking at on-demand productions where the brands have to really move fast, supply the goods in very, very short times. So these kind of development helps what they can get from companies like
Hmm.
yours. Can be very useful for them to bring out these products as fast as possible.
Yeah. So um, in I consider myself, I always have considered myself as a kind of a nerd. And when I got the opportunity to start with the Denim Kitchen 4 years ago, I knew I needed help in staying in control of everything. So of everything that was going on. I'm not a chemist, but we were doing chemical tests. I was getting bombarded with so much different kinds of fabric and specialities, and so what I did is I started digging into project management apps, which taught me to automate steps, on a daily basis, like communication. There's sometimes communication that just needs a acknowledgement. That's it. But you still have to read it. So if you link everything together to the information, you don't have to read through the email to know what it's going about, because the information pops up automatically and it's telling you blah, 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 automatically it sends a message. You only need to acknowledge. You don't have to actually make the whole process of digesting this information. This is what I learned with these project management apps, and I started building libraries. Especially since my background in genealogia, my expertise lies in denim design, laser design for denim. So what I started doing in order to make myself understand better is create simulations of already finished jeans. A jean that does not exist. I just take a picture of a raw garment, apply a wash filter on Photoshop, apply the laser design, print it out, show it the designer, and the designer immediately makes his comments on a picture. There is no point. He doesn't need to know about the fabric yet or the feel or anything. He's just talking about the visuals. So this helps me to save up to 2 rounds of development effort, you know? It helps the designer to understand, not the abstract laser design, black and white, that they have to figure out how this is going to look placed on the denim. You just give them something already visual they can take a decision on. This gave me the clue, like, oh my God, I just have to make libraries, to compile everything in libraries, put it on their disposal so they can access whenever they want, print it out, make their comments, make a picture, send it to me. I make the modification. That's the stigma of laser design. I need a new laser design. It takes me 1 week or 2 weeks to make it, pry it with the fabric and so on. There's no need for that. You have everything in a library. You just take something that's close enough and you modify it. That's it. And it takes a day,
Yeah,
you
of
know?
course. You don't have to
Once,
work all the way up.
talking again about what we were saying, using the word that you already have done. You don't have to go back and start from zero. This is what takes time and makes everybody frustrated. Like, oh, why is it not ready? Because you want me to do it from scratch. I am hungry now. You can decide. I can make food, it will take me 2 hours, or we can go to the restaurant and pick up something and eat right now, you know? So I started to do the same thing with chemistry, sustainability, fabrics, wash steps, recipes, which allowed me to be able to control and actually do the work of a whole team. I only
Yeah.
have I only had an assistant. She was helping me with typing information in for the recipes and helping me with inventory, fabric library, and stuff like that. But between her and me, we were doing a 10 people's job. Why? Because we can easily call information, put it together, make ourselves a picture, and in question of seconds, I'm able to take a decision because I have all the information available, you know, and I have a way without making any process to put everything together and take a decision. So this is a little bit what Denim Dynasty is doing, you know, scalability with a tech system, recipes from any development, international language, and send it to vendors. Digitalization, we talk about laser, we talk about denim development, automation, we talk about project management apps, how to organize smartly your information in libraries. You know, I still see people working with PLM. I cannot believe it, Sandeep. PLM is it's a good tool, but it's old.
Yeah, I mean, we need to move up the value chain in terms of knowledge chain. So that's what you're trying to do.
So, as a hobby, I also started a channel on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook called the Indigo Alchemist that aspires to give insight to professionals about new technologies and tools and showcase to the general public the new modern practices in the denim industry, which I think is kind of magic if you don't know how it's working, right? So yeah, I leave you with some work I do at the Indigo Alchemist, and I hope you enjoy the insights
I'm
in
sure. I've seen the
in the
videos,
denim.
but I would like to like the viewers to see that also. So I thank you, Nino, so much for the wonderful talk and also many insights. And let's watch this video. Thank you so much, Nino.
Thank you. Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Bye bye.